It's gonna be awkward.
3, 2, 1. Boom. Cowabunga. We're back.
I don't get it. You do the math.
How's everyone doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing well as well.
Yeah, dude, back on somewhat of a workout routine as per last episode. All moved in, and yeah, just moving on through.
Yeah, trying to crank through and just get to a routine.
Yeah, and then get this back into routine.
Yeah, this was definitely long overdue. It was just getting back onto like a schedule to where we could do this week in, week out. We know can shoot,
Coming
edit.
up, got good topics.
I mean, it's gonna be heat, dude. A lot of fire.
Yeah, today we got a lot of heat, and I think we should just probably go right into it. And
Yeah, I think it started. I'll just jump in. We saw a post on Facebook from one of our buddies, one of our guys, Hector
Tito.
was posting about going to the movies.
He's excited about it.
Hoping that it comes back. And
Well, it is. It's reopening.
well, I know, but like just comes back to its full glory.
Oh,
of,
it's yeah,
like,
full potential, like what it
not-
is and what it was.
not having to wear masks. Like
well, I mean,
fully getting back
Sure,
to its
yeah.
glory. And like I was a big movie theater fan. I've always been that way. But I don't know that I would want to go to the movies if I got to wear a mask.
yeah, well, that's a big part. Yeah, I mean,
It's not that I'm anti-mask. It's just that like I'd rather
It
watch
takes-
movies at home.
yeah, 100%.
Like it's less enjoyable to do shit in a mask.
yeah,
Like I don't have to go to a movie.
yeah, you can just be home.
It's fine. Like if I got to wear a mask to go to places I got to go.
like the grocery store or whatever.
Yeah, but like I got to go there. Like
Yeah.
it's not
You can watch a movie at home.
exactly, dude. I don't have a library of food,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a library of movies, dude, just waiting to be watched at home.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I mean, it's well, and that's what's crazy right now is like where do they go from here kind of thing, and I'm sure that I'm surprised more of them haven't like just already shut down and gone like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
This is it. This is our end of the road. This is our what do they always say in fighting when some guy's about to retire? Like they're just
End of the line.
yeah, there's something better than that, but I can't think of it right now. But there's something that they always say, and I just think that's what it is. I just think they're
on their way out.
on their way out for sure, and I think some of them might have known that and then just been. I'm surprised more of them haven't just bowed out and said, you know what, dude, it's been a good run.
Well, there's been so much innovation, and like this COVID thing hitting on the movie industry is sort of twofold, because on one side of it you've got obviously the theaters that are taking a huge hit,
Right.
and theaters I would say are taking the majority of the hit because all of their business is dependent on people coming into their place.
For sure, yeah.
And but you think about like how movie theaters have tried to evolve over the last 10 years by like putting in those nice seats that lean back.
Yeah.
You can go get beers at a lot of these theaters. You can get
Yeah.
regular dinners. And so they've really changed and adapted their whole business model since we've been alive and going to movies.
But because of everything, do you think that those theaters are going to hurt more because to me it seems a little
I
bit
think
more
too many-
unsanitary because you got the pillow and you got the blanket and you got the whole set.
I think too many theaters jumped on that train of trying to be a luxury theater, and there aren't enough like just go watch a movie in the
Because our iPic,
regular seats.
they closed it before
They
all
did,
this.
yeah, they shut it down. But yeah, I mean, who knows why they shut it down?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many competitors, and I guess the thing is I feel like there's like a movie that people really want to go and see. I feel like has been less a little bit obviously you've had like the Avengers come out and then they get jam packed. They're so jam packed. They're like the movies that come out, they're so few and far between that when one that comes out they really want to go see, it's flooded and they'll go anywhere they can to see it. Versus iPick is banked on more of like, we're an experience, we're a date night, we're bringing your living room on a going out experience. But I think a lot of people are probably just like,
Well, I'm just trying to think of like when I was a kid and when we were kids, like first getting our license or even just before that, you know, and like you've got
I
an
remember
older sibling that'll drive you to the theater somewhere. You know, like one of your friends has an older sibling.
Yeah.
That'll drive you to the
I
theater.
was gonna say you were my older sibling, and by the time you were driving, we're pretty much.
Well, I'm saying like I had
your friends
that
had siblings,
older siblings, but like
even when we were real young, mom would be good about taking us to movies too, like all those
just drop us
Spider-Man
off,
movies.
dude. Or she like as
She
we got
like
older,
we were really young though. She'd just sit with us.
but as we got older, like I'm talking about it throughout high school. Like,
Oh,
this was
you're talking
something I
about-
would do like
oh, okay, you're talking about teen years.
yeah, like I would get dropped off or like you know get a ride.
Go get drunk in the back. Go sneak in.
Yeah, I mean, but no, but like it was a place where you know you could chew, you know,
Yeah,
because it's
sure.
a dark place, and if you're picking up a chewing habit in your high school times, that's a safe place to do it, you know. And so we would just go watch movies, dude. And I just couldn't imagine though. My point is though, is
I never did this, but there's people giving handies in the back row. You've never heard of that? Come on, guy.
giving handies. I've heard of getting them. I just never heard of giving them.
Yeah, chicks giving handies.
Oh shit, yeah.
I'm not saying like us give handies. I'm saying there's just people giving. I'm sure there's dudes giving handies there too. But I'm just saying I've never.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I no, and I'm just saying I've never given nor received a handy, and I'd go to the movie and watch the movie.
Yeah. Well, regardless of all that, you know, I think that there's just not a place for like the kids who are just trying to go catch a movie in between games. You know, like that was a big thing too.
Yeah.
When we had tournaments going
Yeah,
on.
true.
Like we had a morning game and then an afternoon game. You go catch a movie in between. You go watch Miracle or Invincible in between. You're all fired up for that afternoon slot.
Yeah, true.
And now, like, what you got to get a filet mignon fucking slider trio with your Invincible.
Yeah, they're different. I mean, like to me, I don't know, but like so now that's one topic is how movies have evolved or how movie theaters have tried to evolve into that. But now we look at 2020 and now it's kind of I just
Well, how does it come back from?
I don't
from
know,
here?
but
'Cause
do they go back
obviously-
to
I would, dude. I would go back. That's probably their best chance at saving it, and then let a couple of these luxury theaters just take their
just right? But
take
then, but
their
you got to
seat
think
at
about
the
how much
luxury
money
couch.
though it would cost to rip it all out
Or-
and redo all that shit.
or maybe
And they
what-
haven't profited.
What might be cool? I don't know if
because you
this
got to
would
think
be
about
cool, dude.
that.
But if you had like studios start to buy movie theaters, or like
To monopolize it.
yeah, I don't know, dude.
I don't know, man. I think I don't know. It's tough because I was watching something else that was bringing this up. Another podcast brought up a good point that how are movies going to make money? So say people become all good on movies and they're just all set. They don't want to go to the theaters anymore and they have to close down. But how are they going to make movie or how are they going to make money? Or how are movies going to make money? Because you've got movie theaters that are charging $7 to $15 a head versus if you look at a movie when you go to rent it on say on demand, it's $4.99. You can pack a whole family in there and have, you know, or even your buddies and have 6 people.
Well, the first thing, like, I see what you're saying, and I think it's definitely going to be some lost revenue, but like on those ticket sales, you got to realize that not all that money is going to the movie
For sure.
into the studio. So they're only getting, I looked it up, only about 60%.
Only?
That's a lot, but like compared to all of, not all, they're not getting all $4 either, but they're probably getting a lot more out of that.
I don't know, because usually
Percent.
streaming is pretty stingy.
Streaming is one thing, but buying or renting on demand is different.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like streaming is what the thing about streaming is, and I don't know this for sure, but the like I haven't done enough research to be super conclusive about this, but what I've gathered loosely on how streaming works is that groups like Netflix will pay studios a licensing fee to house whatever content on their platform, and then people can just stream it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, it's really not even a numbers thing for them. They don't even give a shit how many people watch it or don't watch it. I guess how many people watch it or don't watch it would depend on what the licensing fee market cost is. But outside of that, like, they're not getting a rip of each view.
Sure.
Like it is on with music and podcasts.
Well, so I think what I think would be a good idea for networks is just to create their own apps, and then they're charging, say, like 20, or not 20, but like, say, like
Studios,
15
you mean?
studios make their own, like Warner Brothers, and they're all these ones that are coming out with these new movies that, like, you have a Warner's Brother app on the Apple TV or all these smart devices, and you could watch the movie and rent it for, say, $7.99 every time you want to view it for 24 hours. Same thing until it gets released to the actual digital releases to like own and stuff like that.
Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, I would be down for that, actually.
I mean, yeah, movie theaters and all of those would get, like, they'd become obsolete, but
Well, I
like,
think
fucking
that's
Blockbuster did, so.
Yeah, but that's sad though. Like, it makes me sad to think about.
It does. I think
wonder-
about it though, and I haven't really. I'd almost prefer it, honestly.
How much do you think that the Aurora shooting had?
For me, I would say a lot.
Really?
Just because it was so close to where we lived, that, like, had we been in town, I was here actually. I was visiting when we were living there, and it happened. I was visiting here, and I remember waking up seeing it. But like, that was a movie I saw with one of our cousins, The Dark Knight. We saw that in Gilbert, so it was super
he did it
weird.
on the second one.
Yeah, no, I'm talking Dark Knight Rises is what I meant.
He did it on like the drop of that. I was there in Colorado when that happened, and it was definitely scary.
But it just, I don't know. I was like 14 or 15, and then just thinking about it, you're like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, because then after that, like, for me, and we got into this in the Marvel movies, I didn't get into them until way later, because I didn't like them because they weren't like The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, and even Batman Begins.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Or is that the first one?
Well, but what does that have to do with the Aurora shooting, though?
I'm just saying, I like just stopped going to movies, and it just made me. There wasn't anything that I really wanted to see, and I still went to movies and like did them as dates and stuff, you know. And when I,
Like, you're not
my
afraid
high
of
school
them.
girlfriend, yeah, like I wasn't afraid to go, but it was just more of like, it seemed like an elevated risk, almost like when you think of like a big outdoor festival type of concert after the Vegas incident. It just, like, when you think about it, when you didn't think about something like that before, and now something like that's happened, you're kind of like, pro and con situation. You're you know, when you think about it, you're just like, is it, how bad do I really, especially if we could have it, you know, if and say this virus was as deadly, or it's the deadliest virus in the world, or something like that could happen, and you're just in a contaminated, like, there's so many unknowns when you really start thinking about it when you're gathering in a movie theater like that. So I think that, I don't know, it just kind of,
It will be interesting to see how
There's a lot of factors.
there's a lot. It will be interesting to see how movies deal with it. Like I don't know enough of the numbers to confidently say that they'll be fine and there won't even be a blip because obviously there's been some slowdowns in production.
For sure. And they've
Like a
they've
lot of
already
movies are
pushed it
back.
back. Yeah. And I know so we just had Tenant, I think, drop, which I'm excited. I want to see that. But like not bad enough to really go to a theater right now. And then also too, I think we're starting to see it already, but there's been so many freaking Netflix originals popping up and guys starting to turn over, and you're starting to see guys full movie libraries like Adam Sandler slowly bringing all of his movies over to Netflix and doing all those Netflix originals. And I think we're gonna get a ton of guys, but then I think we'll get Hulu start to
gals.
step up.
Guys and gals.
Yeah, I'm just saying guys is in
Well,
everybody.
Hulu's really dominating the TV space, I would say.
Hulu for sure.
Like I've got my cable through Hulu, you know.
Well, and
like
they've got all those contracts with like you can watch It's Always Sunny through FX. And they have all the
they
channel
have
like
every
connection.
FX channel that
Yeah,
FX has, and it's really top notch as far as TV goes.
I would say so too. But in terms of originals, I don't think they're doing a ton.
No.
Um,
But then you get all these offshoot streaming companies too. Like now there's
Yeah.
that Quibi, and then Peacock, which is NBC.
I've been seeing that.
Isn't obviously offshoot. NBC's huge, but it's new nonetheless. And
it's offshoot in the sense that it's a different thing because NBC was doing something else called like Seesaw or something that was like comedy. Like it was on demand comedy from like you could get all the SNL and other like stand up stuff, and I think they shut it down. But
weird.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Overall, though, I think movies shouldn't suffer too much, like themselves.
Yeah, and I hope they don't. I don't think they will because I think
But it
they'll
makes
find
you
a way to
wonder, like,
adapt.
It'll definitely show. I bet it will change actually. Now that I'm thinking about it for a second here, because I wonder how much of the writing is written to get a reaction from an audience that's together. You know,
That's a good point.
like if I'm writing a script and I'm thinking about opening weekend in a packed barn, I'm writing certain things so that someone's gonna laugh. That way, everyone's gonna start laughing, as opposed to like really
Tight group or someone just
to,
watching it by themselves.
yeah, one person or to an intimate group. You know, because that's you're either watching it by yourself or with a small gathering.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would hope that not a lot of writers are thinking about that. I'd hope that they're just thinking about the project.
I don't.
But
I guess I shouldn't say so much writers because it could be the studio too editing. Like that.
yeah,
There could be a lot of input from the studio to change a movie, how it's written. So I wonder if the studios will fuck off a bit more now that.
I think so, and at least I hope so, and I hope we see it. I'm praying for the day we start seeing it with music too. But like, I just think that once they get, I don't know, man. I feel like they're genuinely gonna have to, because once they have streaming and once it's open and people are like, all right, I like Warner Brother movies. If that's the route they go to where like these studios created, or whether it's Hulu versus Netflix, or it's gonna be someone versus somebody in some way, shape, or form. So I think once that happens, they're not going to be so political about what they're going to be.
Well, the thing that gets overwhelming is like I've got Netflix, Hulu, the Hulu with the TV, HBO Max, and a quite expansive movie library of my own.
Uh-huh.
And like between the four of those things, it is a fucking nightmare trying to figure out like what to watch.
So
Unless there's like a pre-conversation, like there's no
yeah.
like Shay and I know what we're watching before we get to the tube. Before, like, there's no, all right, what are we popping on? Because if once you say what are we popping on, you're just fucked because there's endless.
Well, I think they have the technology to do it. If you look at Apple's TV app, how they've organized literally everything that you have on your device. I just think if they did a better job refining that, I'm sure they
Yeah.
will. As soon as they figure out how to actually like make a better interface for that whole Apple TV app, I think it'll be really sick, because I was just looking at it the other day, or today actually, because I was on my phone and I accidentally clicked on the app and it was like, do you want to continue watching the top best fights 20 through 16 or whatever? And that's what I was just watching on my Apple TV working out.
It
So
picks up. If you have your iCloud going, it'll definitely pick up, but there's
Yeah.
some limitations as far as like if you want to if I wanted to watch the news, let's say. I'm not a big
Mhm.
news guy, but let's just say I wanted to pop on the news and I go to, let's say, Fox or MSNBC or something like that, and I say, all right, I want to watch this, and it's linked already up to my Hulu account. It won't open the Hulu app and take me to that channel. Instead, it'll take me to the App Store to download Fox or MSNBC app, and then I have to have some sort of an account with them also to be able to get it. So that's like,
versus if you just went to Hulu's app, your TV provider app,
yeah,
and
if
go
I-
through the guide and just click on whatever news.
exactly.
Yeah, so that's definitely
That's a part,
that's a flaw.
that's a kick in the nuts for someone who's trying to use the Apple.
TV app.
Yeah.
Which that's something I think they eventually iron out. You don't know, like I've
They
always
are not all
wondered.
things, dude. And I
Not all things. There's
Most.
always something new. And I was thinking this as a kid, man. I remember thinking like I would always have good ideas, I felt like, for like companies and things. And I was like, how does this work? Are they thinking about this? I hope to God they are. And then they create something new. Like it'd always be like for like a game coming out, like a Chell. And I'd be like, dude, if they did this, 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 and this, I'm like, they're probably thinking about that. And then like the next Chell 12 comes out or Chell 11. You're like, they didn't do shit. Like who's like, can I write to them? Can I give them these ideas? And I think that now with like these companies and ideas with that, like Apple and stuff, like, dude, why aren't you like optimizing this more to where
Well, I
it could
think
be
they are.
They are, but then like, but you could actually have the idea though to where it comes together. Like it's
But,
right
like,
there.
That's like you can leave a review on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
you can,
dude, but
people are always asking for input.
Apple. The last time
Yeah.
Apple's asked for input.
I don't know, dude, but I do know what will be interesting to me is, like you were just saying, how many people are going to take their, not so much their library of movies, because I don't know how many people have the same type of control that the Sandman's got with their whole catalog of movies. But like he's got a lot of control and influence in his movies.
Well, the Happy Madison product, like he's got his own.
Yeah, he's got his own production company, and that production company's produced most of his films. So that's helpful for him. But other people just going and doing exclusive deals, like you've seen it with comedy
Yeah.
for a while, and then also with some pretty big name actors and actresses. So
Yeah, you know, a lot of people say bad things about it, like music and streaming, but I think the whole streaming game to where like how music, you can pretty much get everything. Pretty much. There's some shit that'll break your heart if you're on any app. But whether you're on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, any of them, even Pandora, you can really listen to everything.
Pandora really probably has the most.
Probably.
Gun to the head.
Gun to the head, they probably have the most.
They probably have the most.
Now, can you listen to all of it all the time? I don't know. I think some of it's just exclusive to the radio. I don't know. But if you, yeah, their radio gets it gets extensive
coverage.
But what music has done cool though is how like you can be on just one streaming app versus with movies and that side of entertainment now, like Hulu, Netflix, they do have these originals. So you got to have Hulu and Netflix and Disney Plus and now these other channels. What I was talking about, if these studios do that, but keep in mind with that idea, it was just for their in theater releases. And then they get pushed off. And then maybe they could have their own library of all their movies if you want to be a premium subscriber or something. But you just download the app, not have to pay a monthly fee. You just pay for the movie.
I like that idea, Z.
Yeah, but you could pay for subscription and go watch all their bank of movies.
Yeah.
For Warner Brothers or whatever. I don't think they'll do that until like they're really, really, really hurting. And then they're like, we got to get to the digital game.
I don't even think then. I just think that it makes too much sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things that's like, no shit.
It's right in front of you.
Yeah, no shit. Why wouldn't you do that? But it'll just never happen.
And you could even leave the theaters out there and keep it the same and just let it go for however long it wants to go.
That was almost what I was trying to say when I was saying studios should buy the movie theaters. Is like have.
Oh, you're saying studio? I thought you were saying Studio Movie Grill.
Oh, no,
I'm like, dude, I don't think they have the money.
Hey, no, dude. The studios.
Just because they're one of those like,
no,
that's
not what I'm talking about. Z, you fucking dork. I'm saying the movie studios, people that are making the movies.
Gotcha.
If they went and bought that's like just a live version of their digital theater.
Sure. Yeah.
And then also too, like the theaters would make more money on that because they'd be making 100% of the ticket, so they could either charge less or make more.
I want to know, and I'm sure this information's out there. I wish I would have looked it up, but like how much, where are movies getting the majority of their revenue from?
Concessions.
Oh,
movies or
movies. So like it costs how much money to make a movie? And you have financiers and everything. How are they making their money back? Or how is Endgame making millions of dollars?
There's a lot of box office revenue.
Okay.
There's a lot of streaming revenue, and there's a lot of video on demand revenue.
So that would come later.
Right.
So
the initial is the box office.
Initials box office. Dude, I almost think they'd make way more money if they just went direct and had their own, like I'm saying, dude.
Well, yeah, but some now are just going direct to video on demand.
That's true. I've seen that. Well, it's like Pete Davidson had that movie that was getting promoted everywhere. It seemed like they were doing a lot of digital marketing.
That for $20, dude. Like,
which a little high, but I think that makes like for this new thing, for what I'm saying, I think that's how they're gonna have to do it with the lack of theaters.
I'm a fan of his, and I just wouldn't pay that
I
much
am too.
to watch
I didn't see it either because I wasn't paying $20 for it, but
like
I think like $7.99, like up it up from $4.99. I'm all right doing that. If it's a brand new release, the problem is the $4.99 right now is you have to rent it after it's already been in theater.
Right, and I think it's definitely fair to hike it up, and that's for like.
But when the movie comes out, it's it's available digital.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's. I think what he was thinking, or what his team was thinking, was that it's $20. It's $20 to buy a movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're getting to watch it without having to wait, then you're going to have to pay that just to watch it. And then you'll pay it again when you want to buy it. My issue is like, how many people do you think are going to the movies to see a movie 2 months before they can watch it at home? Like, how many people are that fucking impatient that go to the movies for the sole reason of seeing it before they can see it at their home?
I think some movies for sure. I think like anytime like Marvel, anytime they drop a movie, I think it goes pretty big. I think Tenet was pretty big.
But the
what I
average
heard,
movie,
but the average movie for sure, no.
like how many people are just going because it's a date night or it's something to do?
Yeah, I would say a good amount.
And so that's where like when you're gonna lose the casual viewers. So the price is probably gonna need to go up a little bit because we'll have to account for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it would just be interesting to know like how many people are going to a theater for the sole reason of watching it earlier than they would be able to, if you know what I mean.
The thing is, I would probably watch more new releases if they had it available. Even
But not
I'd
if they're
pay a little bit
charging-
more.
But not if they're charging me what I could pay to own it in 2 months. Like I'll
Yeah.
wait
Yeah.
2 months for Pete Davidson's fucking movie, even though I'm sure it's really good. I'll wait the 2 months. I got enough other shit that we could be watching, and that'll fill the time until I can just pay the $20 to own it, and then I can watch it as many times as I want.
I mean, that's a really valid point too, and why they have to be tricky, not.
Just don't be stupid with it.
Yeah, because they have to be
like-
careful because, like you
But
were
then
saying,
again, that's one guy. It's not a studio.
yeah,
Like you're saying, if you have a whole studio behind it and running it,
and they're taking all of that
And-
100%,
exactly.
and they have no overhead other than the tech team developing the shit.
Well, and whatever the cost of the movie is, but
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Huh?
financiers and shit like that,
it's factored.
other producers, it is factored, and they got to make that money back.
Nikki Rubenstein.
Yeah,
Nikki Rubenstein.
the money guy.
Yeah, I love the movies though, dude.
I do
I
too.
love the movies so much. I went and saw, speaking of Sandman, fucking Jack and Jill.
You saw that in theater?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, dude. And it was just because like I was
Saw
in
Click.
I was in high school, and like you can't go to the bars yet, and it was a quiet place to chill.
You know what? That's a thing. I mean, the movie is really an
You
hour.
troll around,
hour and a
look for
half.
chicks, and there's like it's usually at an outdoor mall or something like that.
Yeah.
That was what it was for us in high school, dude. We'd just be a couple of the fellas.
But that's what
and
I'm
we'd be
saying
rolling
though.
around.
That's an hour and a half that
And
you're
then
gonna take away from the kids.
You'd walk into that movie empty-handed after you talked to none of them chicks that you were trolling around for, and just looked at them. Go watch Jack and Jill, the four of you.
It's like a nightmare.
It was fun though, dude. Like
I never really did a ton of that, man. But I didn't have a ton of friends in high school. Is the thing. Like I didn't go to movies really.
I was early on in high school. It wasn't like
You were like
that
a
wasn't
senior.
that wasn't like my career.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Dude.
No, I'm just kidding. No, a lot of if you get a movie too, especially you're into and you want to talk about it, like I would have loved to have seen The Joker with you. I saw it as a date, but I would have loved to have seen that with you because I knew after the fact, like I kept trying to talk about like mental health and shit after, and it was like, yeah, the movie's really good, and like she was talking about like the actual movie side of it, but I was trying to talk about like the psychological end of the spectrum, and I knew you would bring that conversation. I remember it took you like 3 weeks to watch that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I did, but we watched it. It was good. I think what I'm learning as I get older, particularly throughout this quarantined time, is that like if I can replicate something in the outside world in the comfort of my own home, I'm going to do that. Like we brought in gym equipment, the house. You did that at your house.
Yeah.
I don't have a movie theater, but I got a pretty good TV, big TV. I got lights. We got lights around that I can say, yo, Siri, dim the lights.
Yeah, when you got that other home pod that's parked in the back
It's
that kind of gives it a
A
surround
little
feel.
surround sound. Yeah, I can say, hey, it's time to watch a movie, and those lights will go down to the appropriate dim. And, you're just a popcorn smell away from being there.
Which you can just pop
Exactly.
and get the real good butter and
Yep.
get the same shit.
And then you don't have to honey dick yourself on the butter like they do at the theater.
And you don't have to say no when they say, "Do you want to upgrade for $4.70?"
Right. You're in control of your own shit. We're doing the same thing. Shane and I've been doing the same thing with food too lately, dude. We've been watching a lot of Kitchen Nightmares. Gordon.
I've been having
G-Ram.
fun in the kitchen, man, cooking again.
Oh, I mean, M&D got me that grill for housewarming gift, and I've been grill master
Just grill
every night,
mastering.
dude, since I got the thing. And we've just been putting out restaurant quality food out of Casa Weber.
That's awesome.
So it's
good shit.
but
But
yeah, dude, that's the same thing. And,
back
like,
to movies. I
if
mean,
you can be doing that stuff though, like on your own. It makes it like, and because there's so much content, that's where I keep going back to, like, I'll wait 2 months
I wonder
unless they did what if the studios did, if they met with you and said, Z, what do you think? $8, $8 a pop, $8 a movie.
I get $8 for every movie that's been streamed because of that idea.
What are they gonna make?
No, I'm saying I get $8 on everything streamed.
What are they gonna make then?
They're gonna run ads.
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That would be what you would. That is.
I
your
just fuck
deal.
up the deal because I'm such a piece of shit.
No,
We're like,
but if they
we
did-
love the idea. We just can't give you $8. Like, I'm not budging.
If they did that deal though, and it was $8 a movie to watch,
Yeah.
a movie that would be in the theaters but isn't, I would pay that.
Me too, for sure. Yeah, and watch it. And because I think too, like, it helps get away from it a little bit because, or maybe too, what would be cool is if, like, they had, like, they also added viewing times for it if they wanted. Like, I think on demand would probably be better. It'd
It's
be
a
less
little
of a,
corny.
it is a little corny.
What you're talking about is a little corny.
Well, it is a little bit,
It's
but
it's a little Zoom,
yeah.
little Zoom era.
It is very Zoom. I was gonna say, yeah, dude, you could have like a little live feed in there. People could chat and talk about their like what they think of the
dude, and
movie.
just- Yeah,
Just
but
have it pop
instead
up
of,
on the
you
screen.
can't do actual chats though, because it would get way out of control. But you could do emojis.
Little motions, yeah.
Yeah, emoticons, not
God.
even real emojis.
I wouldn't. That'd be too manufactured of a world, and I wouldn't want that. But
But what you're saying is cool, dude. $7 unlocks a new movie.
yeah, and I
new
think
flick. That solves the problem.
it does. But also too, though, like a lot of people, I feel like have switched to getting their content. You know, obviously the whole world hasn't switched over to watching the Socially Awkward podcast. You know, otherwise we would know. But
Maybe not.
But there are a lot of people that have switched to watching podcasts, and they've switched to watching YouTube content. They've switched to watching other forms of content that aren't movies or TVs necessarily,
Which is sad.
which is, and like a lot of people are spending a lot of time on
And we're in the podcast game. But
TikTok. Well, yeah, but there's a there's
That
a
I
time and a
don't
place. There's a
understand.
time and a place for it.
That
The
I-
TikTok, yeah, I don't really fully
Yeah.
get either. They're gonna die off the Vine, dude. Like Vine. No pun intended, but Instagram added the Reels thing. So like, I don't know. Hopefully movies do but like, not to get off topic with it, but the outside world, like the world that we're living in social media wise, is so on demand
what
and
does
quick
that
that people don't have the attention span to just sit down and watch a fucking movie.
yeah. What does that say about the attention span of people? It's like,
It sucks. It's bad.
I mean, it's like everyone's a 3-year-old. You know, like, we got
But
a
it's become a
3-year-old
personality
that's
trait.
like this.
Yeah, but now it's just become thing that people adopt, but they're not realizing, I think, that psychologically spending all the time on the apps or like a 16-second video or even like a story for 15 seconds, and then you're just clicking through and you're constantly just trying to get to the next piece of content. How are you going to just sit down and watch 15 Fist McCluster?
14 Fist
14 Fist
McCluskey.
McCluskey.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird world as far as the attention spans go, but also I think it's been like glamorized to have a short attention span. You know, like
Yeah, it has.
having a short attention span is like the cool thing. It's just as cool as being like not good with technology.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just my personality.
Yeah.
And I'm just not good with technology, or I just have a short attention span. Sorry. You're going to have to deal with it. No one's perfect. It's like, well, dude, you're not even trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
why are you just fucking rolling over? No one's asking you to be perfect, but like,
I'm asking you to build us a website. Just fucking open up Microsoft Word.
Yeah, log into your email, dude. Like,
save the file.
Yeah, but that's.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, I think that's affected movies a lot, and I think that like we'll see where it goes, but I think that's the other thing. It's like people say working from home, like they get so distracted, and I think movies don't really care as long as they get money. But I think as a purist, you know, I think you almost wish, because the thing is, there's rules in a movie theater. No phones. No talking.
Yeah, I mean,
none of the other shit. Versus when you're at home, pulling out your phone, you get a text, you're not paying full attention to the movie. And I've noticed for myself, like there's been so many movies I've watched and then been on my phone or watched at home and then rewatch with you, like as we were living together, because I knew you'd be on my ass, dude, if I got on my phone during a movie you asked me to watch.
Don't be on your phone.
Yeah, but like you get on your phone, but then as soon as I stop being on my phone during movies, I'm like, holy fuck, that's a good movie. Like the story, the here where it took you, the little guy, the guy you didn't notice in the end. Like,
yeah, it's all there, dude. And people just are
like Bad Times at El Royale. Like, just you have to be paying attention to every single part of that movie. And I think if you're not in theater, it's harder for people to do that in today's day.
Well, I think it might be a good exercise for people to just try to get to the point of being able to do it. I don't know what.
Hopefully, they're gonna want to break with being on their phones. Like,
I just want it to get unglamorized, like the idea that you've got to be.
Well, I think we talked about this before, but I think a lot of people with movies is they. I think
it's unproductive.
Yeah, for watching them at home. So I think a lot of people might not watch them at home because they think that they're doing something they're not supposed to be in a way. They're like, I'm not watching fucking Gary Vee, or I'm not watching
TED Talk.
I'm not watching a TED Talk, so I'm wasting my time. But there's so much you can learn in a movie. And I heard this, I was listening to something, I heard it somewhere, but I heard the CIA actually hires writers in Hollywood to figure out like clues and stuff.
I'm sure.
Because they're so creative and their minds work in such a unique way that like, because they come up with all these stories. So like, what would you think of in this situation? Here's our situation. You write us a story of what could possibly happen.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the CIA is linked up with Hollywood.
Oh, I'm not trying to get in any kind of like conspiracy talk like that. I'm just saying writers helping.
No, I'm just saying like any form of being linked up, I'm sure it's there.
Yeah. I'm not trying to open up a can of comment worms, but
well,
maybe though, need them. No. But I think that's something to think about too, though, is that you know, they're not unproductive. They're not bad. You know, you can learn a lot from movies, and it's not just the story or the motif in the movie, but I don't know. It's become cool though to like not be into them though, and it's become like cool to be, oh, I don't have time, or I'm not into them, or oh, I don't.
Yeah, like if you're not, it's not cool if you like movies,
Mm-hmm.
and that's sad to me because movies are such a good, just like art,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they're always all that goes into them, dude, is there's just a lot of depth and understanding different perspectives and point of views, and trying to gain inspiration, and like seeing how would I be if I was the hero of my own movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we're all just living in a movie.
Well, that's the thing too, is I think what we're starting to realize in 2020 is that all those things, like we always remember hearing as kids, life's not like the movies. I think we're starting to realize that it's pretty not that off from the movies.
Yeah, it's a lot more like the movies than you'd think. You know, like even you think
The
about
background
shows,
sketchy shit.
like you think about even shows like Prison Break. You
Yeah.
know, like that show is like such a far-fetched idea where the premise is that this dude got set up by the vice president to kill her brother, and it's just this whole web of government conspiracy that ultimately gets unraveled, and like it's so fun to think about, but then to see it all start to come to reality, it makes people go, oh shit, maybe, you know, maybe the world isn't like what my parents tell me it is, or what my parents told me it was. You know, like there's some shit going on that maybe I don't know about.
Yeah, like the quote, "That'll never happen," is slowly fading away, because who thought that our country would be locked down for fucking 6 months? Or
Well, yeah, that'll never happen is most of the time it's already happened.
yeah,
And then for the times where it hasn't, it's bound to.
yeah,
It's like that Family Guy where the dude's selling volcano insurance, and he's like, there's never been a volcano here. He's like, well, don't you think it's coming soon then?
Don't you think we're about due for one?
He's like, shit, good point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's really the thing. I mean, it just is so, I mean, really it's shown that everything's possible, and that's why we just have no fucking clue.
And Justin Bieber's been trying to say that long time, dude. He's been saying never say never as long as I've
known him.
as long as he's been in the
Popular.
mainstream, dude, really.
Yeah, you're not lying.
But anyways,
Yeah, on that, dude, I think that's pretty much
good show.
good show, great show.
I think we had a good show there, and I think it's been a good first week back as far as just getting
In terms of stuff that's not going on just us, in terms of just getting a topic back.
shaking it out and getting back in the New York groove.
Yeah, dude, and I'm back in the New York groove in terms of life, like we were saying too. So that I think adds
You
a little bit
shut
of
up about it.
spark. Dude, I'm fucking excited about it. All right,
Your hair's looking good, dude. It's looking real long,
thank you, dude. It's trying.
real curly too.
Just got out of the shower.
You know,
Little workout.
you kind of look like you could be lacrosse.
Nice.
Lacrosse.
Lax.
A little bit of a lax, bro. You got the long socks on. You got the short shorts, the long hair. I could see it, dude.
Lax.
You got your warrior lacrosse stick, and you're just like,
just twirling it around everywhere.
yeah, you're just poop or scooping it all around.
Lacrosse is cool. That's actually next week's episode is just about lacrosse.
Dude, out of the two people at this table, I was the one that played lacrosse.
Yeah, actually, I've never played lacrosse.
So
You've
you're not even qualified.
No, I'm not, and I've never had long hair either. This is the first time. This is the longest ever been today,
It is, dude, and I noticed that.
and tomorrow will be the longest it's ever been. Every day moving forward is the longest it's ever been my entire life.
Wow,
I'm
how
not-
crazy is that for you?
Yeah, it is really weird to think about. Like when you're an adult and you're like,
It'll
I feel
probably
like I've
never,
done everything.
It'll probably never be this long again either.
Easy.
Well, I'm just saying, dude, it's a commitment to grow
I'm
it
just
out
kidding.
that long.
It really is. Yeah, because this has been since December.
Like
so-
I've had long hair before, and it's been like probably about that length, maybe a scotch longer. But like, I usually don't let it. Once I cut it from there, I don't turn right back around and start growing it back out again.
Yeah, it usually takes a while.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well,
Anyways,
this has been a good week,
been a great week.
and it's been fun, dude.
Fun. We can do that now, and cool. It's not weird.
It's a little still weird, but should we just
Get on there.
go to them? All right. For those of you guys just tuning in, I'm Jay,
I'm Z.
and together, obviously, we're Jay Z. Cheer,
Hove.
ho.
It's gonna be awkward.
You do the math.